Hello, today we are going to make a very easy cake. This is the fruit cake. In Polish it's called keks. And basically this is just a fruit cake which is easy to prepare, and you can do it without any problems. So just look at this video, look and watch this video, and then afterwards you'll find a proper recipe on my website on www.joannafoss.com. So please watch closely. First of all, I'm going to put some flour. This is a plain flour. Just now I'm going to add icing sugar. I already measured it earlier, so I'm just going to dip it into the flour. This is the fat, a bit of margarine or butter, but it's got to be unsalted. Baking powder. Hang on a second, because I've got to check the recipe. Flour thick, butter thick, eggs, the next one. I always break the eggs over some small bowl before I dip it into the cake, because sometimes you may get shells, so the things you can retrieve them. Oh, see, the shell went in my bowl. Just a second. Bit of fishing. And one more. That's it. I think it's all, apart from some of the ingredients that I've got to measure, but we'll do it in a second, just a second. Okay, this is all. So I'm just now going to blend it all nicely in my blender, okay? So it's going to be quite noisy. it for a second to see if everything is going nicely blend it all up. It looks great. Okay, just put it on for another 2 seconds. And just now I've got to measure some other ingredients, so you've got to hang on for 5 minutes until I do it, okay? And you catch me up in a second. So this is the last ingredient. This is a mincemeat. Normally you would put either, you've got to put a certain amount of this kind of ingredient. Normally it would be either raisins, figs and figs, nuts, almonds, some kind of apricots, like cut into slices. But the thing is, to make life easier, I'm just using mincemeat. So this is measured, and I'm just adding it to my cake. Oops. It all went. I'm going to give it a good stir. And see, this is how the cake looks like. I'm going to put it in the baking tray now and put it in the oven. That's it. Don't have anything else to do. One thing to remember is when you put your cake in the baking tray, don't put too much because it starts growing. So if you can't fit in one tray, put some of the cake in another one. I just fill it like up to half of the baking mold. Just don't overdo it. Here, a bit left. Looks very yummy. Okay, so this baking tray is ready to go. I'll put it in the oven, and I'll put the rest of the cake in the oven, probably in the small one because it's too much. As you can see, the cake is ready, and it goes in the oven. Some more baking tray, baking paper in another tray. As you can see, this cake is very easy to make. It doesn't take ages. I used to buy almonds and figs and apricots and used to cut them, but the thing is, it took ages, and since we want to catch up on time, perhaps some of you don't have much time, so it works exactly the same if you can buy mincemeat and just put some mincemeat in your cake. Unless you've got obviously time, then you can devote it to cutting and cutting all the ingredients into slices. But I don't have much time, so I'm just saving on it by cheating a bit. It's like a bit cheap, but the thing is, on the quality, it doesn't take the quality away. It's exactly the same, according to me. You know, some people may argue that it's not as good, but you know, my family likes it. I like it, and I'm happy with the cake as it turns out afterwards. I think that's it. I won't be able to take any more dough out. Okay, so the second mold is going in the oven, and that's it. Just now we only got to wait. Nothing else to do. Just keep an eye on the oven so it's not going to be too hot, because you don't want to burn your cake. Just check it within half an hour, see if the cake is made, if it's cooked, baked I should say. Sorry. My mistake. I've just taken the cake out. As you can see, this is the cake, final product, in one baking tray, and the other one. Said to you, it grows quite a bit, so you've got to be careful not to overflow it in the baking foam. I'm going to check it during the baking process. You've got to see if it's done. See, I'm using a wooden stick. As you can see, if you put the stick in and it's dry afterwards, if you take it out from the cake and there's nothing on the stick, you can see it, then the cake is done. If there is anything left, any dough left, then you know that the cake's got to go back in the oven. Let's try the other cake. It's also dry, you can see. So it signifies that the cake has been baked thoroughly. And just now I'm going to leave it to cool down a bit, and then I'll put it upside down on the tray, on this tray. It's still very hot. Once it cools down, then I'll take it off the foams and I put it on the tray, because it's going to be easier to cut it. This cake you can always serve with perhaps cream, either single cream, double one, or whipped cream, whichever cream you like. Or it also tastes very well with brandy butter. But brandy butter is only a seasonal product, and we can only buy it over Christmas. But you know, if you can't have it, just buy any cream. Or if the cream is not available, then you can serve it just with a cup of tea. It's a perfect dessert, and I think you will thoroughly enjoy it. And if you want a proper recipe for it, then go to my website, to joannafoss.com. You'll find recipe over there. Thank you. Enjoy.